you ever seen the movie Walk the Line, the true story about Johnny Cash with Joaquin Phoenix? I was thinking about this scene as I was hiking up today. It's one of my favorite scenes, and he's dreaming of doing music. He's kind of had this secret dream of wanting to play music, but reality sets in like it does for most of us, and he has to pay the bills. And so he gets a job as a door-to-door salesman. So he's just knocking door to door and absolutely hating it, and he's a terrible salesman, can't sell a thing. And so he sees this record producer on the street one day, and he basically corners the guy and says, "Hey, would you just let me come in with my band, and we'll just let us have one song. Just let us have one song, and we'll prove it to you. Just give us a chance." And so the guy says, Sure, I'll give you a chance." So the next day, the band comes in, and Johnny Cash and his band start singing this kind of old classic gospel hymn, and not much life to it, not much excitement. And they get about one verse in, and the record producer's like, "All right, that's enough. Sorry, boys." And Johnny Cash is like, "That's it? That's all the chance you're gonna get?" And he's like, "Well, do you have anything else?" And sorry, I'm about to slip down the mountain here. And Johnny Cash is like, "Well, what was wrong?" And the record producer says, "Well, I didn't believe you." And Johnny Cash is like, "What do you mean you didn't believe me? Was it a problem with the way I sang it, or is it a problem with the gospel?" And the record producer's like, "Well, both." And Johnny Cash is like, "Well, you didn't let us bring it home." And the record producer just laughs and goes, "Okay, let me bring it home. If you had one song, if you had one song to sing, if you were hit by a truck and you were in that gutter and you had one song, you're telling me that's the song you would sing, the same old Jimmy Davis tune about the peace within, about how it's real and how you're going to shout it? Or are you going to sing something real? Are you going to sing something true? Are you going to sing something about how you feel about your time on earth? Because that's the kind of song that people want to hear. That's the kind of song that truly saves people. It's not just about believing in God, Mr. Cash. It's about believing in yourself." So Johnny Cash just sits there, takes it all in, and says, "Well, I do have one song I sang while playing in the Air Force. You got a problem with the Air Force?" And the record producer's like, "No, I don't have a problem with the Air Force." And Johnny Cash says, "Well, I do." And so then he goes and sings this slow, driving, violent song called Folsom Prison, where he talks about, shooting a man in Reno just to watch him die. And the record producer just sits there entranced, and that was the beginning of Johnny Cash as we know it. And I just love that scene because I think it's so true to life. It's that idea of we all have that song within us. We all have something that's true, something that's real, something that's honest, something that we felt. And I think sometimes, even especially in faith circles and Christian circles, I think it can be very difficult to really sing and talk about really what's going on inside our hearts. To get away from kind of the cliches and the fix-it-all Bible verses and get down to the truth of, okay, what am I really going through? And how is this honest? And how is this true? And how do I communicate this to others, to myself? How do I come to grips with this? And even ask God, maybe even some of the hard questions that I'm struggling with, because He's not afraid of them. So pretending like it's not real, pretending like it's true, singing the same old, I have peace within, even when you feel all this angst and frustration and anger and bitterness and hurt and all the things, and you haven't even dealt with it. I think that's part of what I do as a writer. That's really my whole career as a writer, is really asking myself the hard questions, those questions that are just, I can't come to grips with, those questions that I can't get an easy answer with, and I have to pray about it and seek God and ask for help and all those things, and then I put it down on paper. Because the thing is if you're feeling it, if you're struggling with something, just like with Johnny Cash, he was struggling with being in the Air Force. Now, not everybody's gonna have that experience, but he got down to that heart of the feeling like you're stuck in prison. And no matter who you are, whether you're an inmate or in the Air Force or a mom of five, you can sometimes relate to that feeling of being stuck, feeling like you're stuck in prison. And Johnny Cash got down to the truth of that feeling. So I think for all of us, I guess this is just a shout, an inspiration, a kick in the pants for myself to keep getting down to the truth, the nitty-gritty, to ask ourselves the hard questions so that we can come up with some real answers. Let's not keep singing the same old song that everybody else is, because there's only one you. I know it sounds cliche, but seriously, show me another you and I'll take that cliche away, but there's only one you. So what song are you going to sing? What are you going to give to this world? What are you going to create? What's that inspiration, that what I call your signature sauce? What's that flavor you're going to give to the world that no one else can bring? How are you going to serve the world by serving your signature sauce? Sorry, I'm getting a little preachy here. I'm getting on my, I'm on the side of a cliff. How can I not get excited? But that's my video for today. So have an amazing day, and start asking yourself, what is that song that I want to sing? If I was lying in that gutter, what's that one song I would sing?